Hello everyone, this is Crypto BitLaw, here with another blockchain legal brief, and today we're going to discuss the Intuit crypto class action lawsuit. But before we dive in, please, if you enjoy this content, hit that like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. And with that said, let's jump right on in. Alright, so as we can see here, Decrypt reports that Intuit was sued over phishing attack targeting Trezor crypto wallet users. The class action lawsuit alleges Intuit, quote, willfully, recklessly, or negligently failed to protect Mailchimp data and ultimately Trezor users. They say, a new class action lawsuit alleges Intuit intentionally, willfully, recklessly, or negligently failed to protect Mailchimp data, leading to the theft of cryptocurrency from Trezor wallet users. The lawsuit, filed in California on Friday, claims the financial software firm and its subsidiary, Rocket Science Group, which operates Mailchimp, are responsible for, quote, millions of dollars of losses. That includes $82,000 stolen from plaintiff Alan Levinson's own Trezor wallet. On behalf of other Trezor wallet users, Levinson is seeking actual and punitive damages from Intuit as well as 3 years of credit reporting monitoring. Now, before we go on, actual damages that's compensation for damage that you actually suffered. In this case, if $82,000 worth of crypto, fair market value crypto, was stolen from this plaintiff, the actual damages would be that $82,000 worth of crypto. So he would be entitled to actual damages of $82,000. Punitive damages are damages that a court imposes in order to punish a defendant for their wrongdoing. So those are damages above and beyond the actual damages. So it's kind of like the court giving the defendant a spanking and being like, hey, that's bad, you should have known better, and then imposing additional sanctions or damages on the defendant as some sort of penalty. Like, oh, you should have known better. In addition to this $82,000 you're going to pay him, now you're going to have to pay him an extra $30,000 on top of that, right? So that's punitive. Continuing on, it states, he alleges that an employee of Rocket Science Group, quote, fell victim to one of the oldest cyber tricks in the book by clicking on a malicious link that granted attackers access to personal information, including email addresses of more than 100 users who subscribed to a Trezor newsletter. The emails were then used to lure users to a fake Trezor website, where they were directed to download a new version of the company's Trezor Suite desktop app to protect themselves from a data breach. In doing so, users unknowingly gave cybercriminals access to their recovery phrase used to access their crypto wallets. Not good, not good. Trezor, which is based in the Czech Republic, began warning users about the phishing email in April. Quote, a scam email warning of a data breach is circulating, the company said on Twitter. Do not open any email originating from noreply@trezor.us. It is a phishing domain. Its website still features a banner warning users not to enter their recovery seed anywhere. Without mentioning Trezor directly, Mailchimp acknowledged the security breach in a post on April 4th. Quote, based on our investigation to date, we found that 319 Mailchimp accounts were viewed and audience data was exported from 102 of those accounts, the company wrote on its blog. Our findings show that this was a targeted incident focused on users in industries related to cryptocurrency and finance. Phishing attacks, widely believed to have been originated in the 1990s when a group of hackers impersonated AOL employees, have plagued Web3 companies. In the past 2 months, some of the largest projects, MetaMask, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and Circle, have had to warn users about phishing attacks. Scammers have even impersonated aid organizations, hoping to use Russia's Ukraine invasion to steal donations made using cryptocurrencies. Now, one of the first things that I want to point out here is the importance of always securing your seed phrase. Never, ever, ever, ever enter your seed phrase unless you're restoring your wallet. It's more feasible and understandable to me that these hack victims were hacked like this, in the sense that, yes, they were phished, and yes, they were grifted in a sense that they were bait and switched with a security upgrade software that tricked them into entering in their seed. But, having some experience in the IT and programming sector, even for me, recent upgrades aren't really, it's not smart to willfully engage in a recent upgrade. You want an upgrade to be vetted by other users and actually wait for a subsequent version that has actually been tested and vetted before you run and jump on an upgrade. It's not always the smartest thing to jump on an upgrade, because developers can also, overlook certain bugs that might have been introduced in the upgrade, and until there's a wide swath of users that have tested that upgrade, it's not wise to be the first one to jump on and essentially act as a beta tester for the developers in that sense. So that's my take on upgrades, even with respect to crypto-related products. Even then, it's good practice for these companies not to require you to re-enter your seed phrase. For example, if you upgrade your ledger, if they upgrade the firmware on the ledger, or one of the applications on the ledger, or even the actual Ledger Live software on your phone or on your computer, it is not going to require you to re-enter your seed phrase. That is the biggest no-no. Not unless you restore from nonce, from nothing, taking it from just a bare bones, bare metal device, and you want to just wipe it clean and then restore it freshly. That's the only time you're going to re-enter your seed phrase. All right, now we could turn now. Here's a copy of the docket in this case. As we could see, it's Levinson versus Intuit Incorporated, and it's in the district court in the Northern District of California. It's no surprise that they filed, the plaintiff in this case and his attorneys filed this in California because, as we've said before, California is one of the more liberal and progressive districts when it comes to entertaining this type of litigation. And so here is a copy of the complaint. This is a relatively new case, filed April 22nd, so it's not even a few days old at this point. And there really hasn't been much movement in this case. Let's take a look at the complaint. Here is a copy of the complaint. As we could see, the plaintiff is trying to get a class action complaint. Alan Levinson, individually and on behalf of themselves and all others similarly situated, versus Intuit Rocket Science Group, doing business as Mailchimp, a Georgia limited liability company. Jury trial demanded, and here's the introduction. Trezor Company and Satoshi Labs are Czech companies which sell offline hardware crypto wallets. Pretty much it goes over the whole story about how we talked about in that article with the phishing attempt and Mailchimp's failure to protect the data of these Trezor users. Here's the substantive allegations. Here's a copy of the email. Let's continue on. The data breach was a foreseeable risk of which defendant was on notice. Well, even at that point, I don't know what they're going to do to stop it. I guess, let's see. In 2021, so many data breaches. At all relevant times, defendants had a duty to plaintiffs and class members to properly secure their private information. Okay, well, I could get down with that. Defendants failed to comply with FTC guidelines. Okay, that's about protecting private information. Defendant fails to comply with industry standards. Well, that's not technically illegal. Here's the class action. Okay, count one. This is the good stuff. Negligence on behalf of the class. That's where they knew or should have known. And then count two, breach of third-party beneficiary contract. I don't know who wrote this complaint, but a third party isn't really a thing. Maybe they third-party beneficiary contract. So it's a breach of contract action here in this third complaint. And then we'll move on. Let's see. Count three, unjust enrichment. I've seen this before. That's pretty much whenever you're kind of running out of steam in your allegations, your causes of action, it always helps to kind of allege unjust enrichment, because that's pretty much your catch-all. If you feel like you're going to fail on any of the other ones or all of the other ones, you just throw unjust enrichment in there and then see if you can get lucky and the court will buy it. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Okay. Punitive damages, attorney's fees, credit monitoring, and actual damage as along with interest. Okay. And the catch-all, all other such relief as this court may deem just and proper. So there you have it. this doesn't really surprise me that there was going to be some sort of litigation. I foresee a settlement here, as we have in 98% of all cases, they traditionally end in settlement. And so, depending on how much money is at stake, I think Trezor and Mailchimp will probably pony up actual damages, some attorney's fees, and maybe a little bit to sweeten the pot to kind of take up for the punitive. So, ultimately, I think that these plaintiffs in the class are probably going to get made whole, although not as whole as they would have liked, but it's going to be a little something for their troubles, I'll put it like that, and that's the way I foresee this playing out. So, there you have it again. Thanks again for watching, everyone. And again, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. We'd really appreciate that. And with that said, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.